Well, we are all one Dadachanji family here. I am Behram, Nariman's brother. This is my wife, Banu, my sister-in-law, Havovi. This is my aunt, Freni, and this is my sister-in-law, Freni. I first met Baba in 1937. Earlier to that, Nariman, Arnavas and all that, they knew Baba too well, but because I was not in Bombay, so I came to know about him a bit late. In 1937, I met him at Jabalpur, when Erach brothers, Mervan's Navjot took place there. I was there for a few days, and then afterwards I returned to Bombay. From there, again I went to Karachi. Then in the year 1938, I again went to Meherabad, where I stayed there for about a few days. At that time, Baba used to come to Manli from the hill at about 4 or 4:30 in the morning, walking very fast with the other members of the Manli with lanterns in their hand, just trying to follow him, running actually. He used to sit in one of the cabins, used to call one by one members of the Manli and discuss the daily affairs. Then after 1960, he started coming to Pune, and we used to go every year to him. There he used to call us, males separately, females separately, and used to give discourses, used to ask people to tell stories, play cards and all that.
I remember, Freni, the time I had my tonsils removed and I hemorrhaged, and Baba had sent me a telegram asking me to be brave and not to worry, and I really had a bad time of it. And then I was at Anavaz's house in the Baba atmosphere, getting well, and about 8 days I was there, and I really recouped rather fast. And the next time, this was in August 1962, and then when we met Baba, he said I should go through with it again. And I think it's only with his grace that I could go through with it again. And well, in January, the tonsils were out, and successfully this time, thanks to Baba. And I had his telegram asking me to be brave and not to worry, tucked under my pillow all the time. And I was holding on to it fast, and I had Baba's brooch when they took me into the operation theatre. And later on, he gave me instructions not to yawn very big, very sort of, not to open my mouth too wide when I yawned. And every time, even now when I yawn rather big, you see, because that time I developed a complication called the clicking mandibular joint. And Baba told me not to open my mouth too wide when I yawn. And even to this day, when I sometimes sort of yawn too big, I always get a click, and then I remember Baba's instructions. You like to tell them something?
Okay. Jai Baba. Well, I remember my first glimpse of Baba when I was a child at Pune when I went with my parents. He was in his own house, and that was called, there were onesies on the windows, and I remember it very well, seeing Baba for the first time. Then after few years, that was not few years, I believe many years after that, when I met my husband, Behram. Before that, I met Baba again at Surat. I went with my mother, and I remember that incident very well, that when we met Baba, my mummy told him, Baba, that Baba, my daughter intends getting married to Nariman's brother Behram. And he had a hearty laugh over it, and he just patted my mummy's back. I remember that incident very well. After that, after I got married, when Baba was in Bombay, I was very lucky that I had many darshans from him. When he used to come to Nariman's place, Annavas very kindly used to call me for the darshan. Then after my marriage, immediately Baba asked us to go to Karachi, for which I was very disappointed as I had to leave my whole family here. And I was crying over it because I had to leave them and go to Karachi. Baba very gently and kindly called me one day and he said, "Don't worry, you'll be coming here off and on. It will be for a short time." And believe me, with my experience, I could say that it was for a very short time, and for our own good, whatever he has done, it was for our own good.
Prini, you're next now.
Well, this is an incident directly in my life and indirectly too, because it concerns my parents and my sister. There is a saying of Baba that if you grab something from me, that is like blood. If you if you ask something from me and I give it to you, it is like water. But if I give it to you, then it is like milk. And I've tried very hard to follow this saying of Baba. Well, my desire was that my parents should meet Baba because I knew how important it was in our lives. And I always wanted that Baba should meet them in a small gathering. And this is how my desire came true. Well, it was in 1962 that I first started staying in Guru Prasad for all the time that Baba was there, all the 3 months. And this was the first time for me, and I came very close to Baba during those time. My parents are in Karachi, and you see, I was working at that time, and it was very difficult for me to take leave, and I was granted leave for just a month and not a day more. But it so happened with Baba's will, I kept on staying a month and then 2 months, and suddenly I started receiving telegrams from my parents saying that they were coming to Bombay and that I should come back to Bombay to receive them. And somehow I felt that if I went back to Bombay, I would not go back to Pune and miss Baba. And so this was a conflict going on in telegrams. Well, the important thing is that I stayed with Baba. I sort of chose him first, as I loved him the best. And one Sunday before my parents were to arrive, Baba said he was stopping all darshan, that he would not meet anybody. And by that time, my parents were in Bombay. Rustam had gone to receive them. And I knew that they were coming to Pune and that they were going to miss the chance of seeing Baba just a week. And Nariman remarked saying, "Oh, Freni, your parents are really not lucky because they'll miss Baba's darshan." And I felt very sad about it. And I said, "Never mind, Baba, whatever your will is." And, well, this was now Friday. And they were going to arrive. This was a Saturday, I think. And my parents were going to arrive on Saturday night. That evening, we all went with the ladies to a matinee show. And you see, Baba always used to ask our Navas who was coming that weekend, how many cars and who all, because our boys, that is Rustam and Behram and all, they used to commute every weekend. And Anava said, "Don't worry, Freni, because Baba is going to ask me who's coming and I'll tell him that your parents are coming." But when Anu went to collect the ladies, Baba didn't ask her a single question. And she came to the theater and she said, "Freni, I'm sorry, Baba didn't ask me anything." And I said, "Well, never mind." And, well, we went through the pictures and she said, "Never mind, you've still got some hopes, because when I go to leave the ladies off, Baba, maybe there. But we knew that Baba would retire by the time the ladies returned to Guru Prasad. And so I felt there was really no hope. And so we went to Mobo's, the ladies went to Guru Prasad, and I'd lost all hope of my parents seeing Baba. When lo, Anu came along, and she said this to me. She said, Frini, when I went back to Guru Prasad, Baba was sitting on the veranda, and she felt a ray of hope. And then she sort of sat along, said a few things about the picture and all that. And since Baba still didn't ask her, she said now she had to leave. Baba said, you may go. And Anu got up to go. And as she was coming down the steps of Guru Prasad, she said, Baba said, Adnavas, who all are coming this weekend? And naturally Anu said that Baba Freni's parents are coming and all that. And Baba said, well, then tomorrow I will see them. You bring them along. And Baba Major Rano phoned me, and she said, tell Freni that I am very pleased with her obedience and all. And tomorrow she should come to Guru Prasad with her parents and sister. And I believe that was a very, very happy short while in my life. And Baba being a very merciful and loving, but a very practical master, I think I will never forget that incident. And the next day I went to Baba with my parents, and my desire of him meeting in a small group, because there were very few of us there. And then he asked me to bring my mummy forward to him, and he met mummy and my sister, who is a real Baba lover now, doing good work in Karachi. That's Zareen. And, well, that's a very happy time. I'm very happy to relate.
I am a Freni Kaki speaking. I met Baba after my marriage in 1926 in Bombay. I and my husband is very much impressed to see him. Baba also very pleased to see us. That's good. Baba came Bombay always in our residence in Rustam Bagh, and so many people are coming on the darshan for Baba. And we are also very pleased to see him, and all the housework, very sincerely, they made the Baba's food and all things. And I believe that Baba is God. Jai Baba.
Oh, you wanted to say something else, come on.
Yes, Behram. I remember it was such fun being next door neighbors with God in person. We were staying at the Mobo's Hotel, very close, hardly 3 blocks away from Guru Prasad. And every morning, anxiously, we used to wait for the phone call to ring. And off we'd rush, and we'd have a little nice, intimate discussion with Baba. We'd all sit around, and when it was time to go, he'd just say, off you go now. And off we used to go, waiting for the next day. And I remember I had work here and the children's school, and every time we used to tell Baba that we were going back, he'd always say, you have to go back, never realizing that from 1965, all darshans would stop. He almost made us feel that he felt lost without us. Well, he jolly well knew that we'd feel lost without him, because from 65 onwards, all darshan programs were stopped. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful, intimate feeling that you got when you were there with Baba. On one such day, I remember that Baba, after he finished, we all used to crowd round whenever he used to go into his room. And whilst he was going, he patted my sister-in-law, Freni. Freni, remember? He patted you. And he patted Banu. And I felt a little lost and envious, human as I am, that, oh, I wish he'd pat me too. And he was well on his way into the room, and must have known what I was feeling, and he retraced his step And he came back and he patted me. And I said, oh, Baba, you know everything, don't you? That's one of the things. And then the Navjot incident, the children had their Navjot occasion held at Meherazad. It was a very, very happy occasion. We were very keen that the children should be initiated into the fold by Baba. And we asked Anavaz whether we could have it in May. That is in May 69. And Anavaz asked Baba that the Hoshrang and Havovi want the children to have their Navjot occasion at Meherazad or Guru Prasad, wherever possible, with you. And Baba said, Kabul. Kabul means okay. But he said we'd have to backdate it to December. And so we had a very, very happy occasion on 22nd December when Baba handed. Well, that really was a love feast, lovely occasion. And after the thread ceremony, after the Sadra and Kasti were handed over to the children, we all met Baba. And I remember the last thing that Baba told me, be happy, think of me. And since then, Baba has dropped his body and, well, he's closer than ever before. And, well, another incident I can remember is about my son Rayomand. He was rather a weak child. Well, you should see him now. Seeing is believing. He's a goodly 120 pounds now. Rather, now everybody's asking him to reduce, if you please. And he was a very, very weak child. And Baba instructed him to have 2 eggs a day. And being a perfect little Baba lover, he never fails to take his 2 eggs every day, though I think he hardly needs them now. And one day we had a great time. He had to go to camp, the Scouts camp. And I had to insist and ask the Scoutmaster to give him 2 eggs every day. Now, well, we couldn't possibly tell him that Baba, our God, had instructed him to do that. So we said he had some vitamin deficiency. And seeing him, the Scoutmaster hardly believed that the vitamin deficiency existed. Well, Baba's orders will always stay with us, and so it is. His 2 eggs every day, without fail, unless, of course, he's sick. And my little daughter, Meher Ruk. Meher meaning Baba's name, Meher, compassionate, benevolent, and Ruk is the face. So we named her benevolent face after Baba, Meher Ruk. And she was singularly lucky. She met Baba when she was just 18 days old. And remember the hub of the family, the people my family, my immediate parents do believe in Baba. They are very close Baba lovers. But my mummies, my granddaddy and grandmother and my uncles and aunts, they were all in an uproar. So you can't take the little child of 18 days old to Pune. And they didn't want her to be taken. They said she'll get infection, and Pune is full of diseases. And that time there was the floods, and Pune's water wasn't very healthy, especially for a little child. Well, I didn't listen to anybody, and I did, with Baba's grace, take Meheruk there. And she sort of first met Baba when she was 18 days old. And Baba chuckled with her and played with her. And, she must have known Baba for what he was. And Baba must have known her, recognized her as one of his old favorite souls. And ever since that time, she's been lucky enough. Her birthday falls on the 9th May. And her first, up till her 5th birthday, she spent all her birthdays at Guru Prasad. And she'd go into the room where Baba was sitting and sort of play with him and smile at him, bend down to him and get up again. And she had a gay time playing around with Baba. And ever since that time, they've been very, very close and loving Baba children. Here's another one, Armaiti, another Baba child who's just come in. Say hello, Armaiti. Say Jai Baba. Okay, Banu, now would you like to say, Freni. Freni, would you like to say something?
Well, I'll relate about how I came to eat onions and drink soda. Well, I'm not really fussy about my food, but these were the 2 things that I just couldn't stand. And, first I'll tell you about soda water. We were in that small room in Guru Prasad with Baba, remember, Havovi? Yes. And I was sitting next to Baba. He was in his big chair, and I was on the ground near him. And he asked Kaver that's Dr. Goher. He said, well, Goher, I want a bottle of soda water. And Goher brought it to him, and Baba sipped it just a bit, and then he handed it to me. And I thought it was that I could take just a sip, and of course the idea of taking soda water into my mouth, and I said, ugh. And well, since it came from Baba, I was very happy also, because Baba had touched the water. And so I drank, I sipped a bit, and then I was going to hand it over to Baba. And Baba said, drink all of it. And I said, oh my God, all of it, Baba. And he said, And so naturally, that's how I came to drink soda water. And well, about the onion part of it, this was in Guru Prasad too. And the Navjot occasion of Armaiti, and Armaiti, wasn't it? Yeah. And that's Banu and Behram's daughter. It was being held there, and we were going to have lunch in Guru Prasad. And I remember that a whole few of us, a whole line of us were sitting having dhan and dar, that is rice and dal. We were squatting on the ground with the leaf spread out in front of us, and Baba was sitting right behind us in his chair. And well, I wasn't interested in food so much as looking at Baba. And I was sort of turning around now and then to look at Baba. And on one time I looked around at Baba. Somebody put a lot of onion on my leaf. And Baba had a wonderful smile, and he said, eat everything that's there. And I looked and I said, oh my God, it's all onion here. What am I going to do now? And well, I did eat up all that onion. I think only Baba helped me to eat all that. And so very, very rarely now I do eat onion too. Well, anyone else?
I'd like to tell them about the story about Mastan.
Sure, yeah. Say that.
That's a very good thing, yes.
Well, I think this is going to make all of you laugh. We were very, very fortunate to be invited to Meherazad for Mehra's birthday. And I bet you all remember Mastan. He's sure a dog to reckon with, and I'm frightened of the smallest little puppy. And we went to Meherazad, and we were all sitting around, and Mastan was Mehra's favorite dog, and Mehra said that Mastan is so well trained, he'll go around kissing all of you, and you must say, Mastan, kiss. And I was shaking in my shoes. Well, anyway, I felt that in Baba's presence I could do anything to please him and Mehra, and so I did do Mastan kiss. And I was rather very weak at the time. I had lost quite a lot of weight, hardly the healthy specimen I am today. And I thought Baba asked me, so after a lovely hearty meal cooked by Naja, and Baba said, give Havovi an egg, a raw egg. And I can't stomach a raw egg, a half-boiled egg, much less a raw egg. And I was so frightened that I'd have to have that egg as it is after such a lovely feast. And then actually I found out that it came in a very big dog vessel. It was meant for Mastan. And that sort of frightened me all the more, because imagine a big dog like Mastan and a small raw egg like that in that plate. And I said, after Mastan finishes with the egg, my hand will be next. And I was really shaking, and with taking Baba's name, I just sort of held it out to Mastan, and Mastan with one lick finished the whole thing off. And boy, was that an experience. Okay, Amati, would you like to say something? Something about... Well, you remember that's... Is it on? Shreni, would you like to say something? Banu, yes? Go ahead.
Right, Doctor.
I will always remember the day 27th May 1963 as the happiest day, because I had my younger daughter Armaiti's Navjot occasion there at Guru Prasad with our beloved Baba. And imagine having lunch with God. Oh, what! I can't express myself. The happiest moment of that day. And I remember that one incident when we were all having lunch together, and when we all finished, Jimmy Mystery was still having his lunch. And Baba, as always, with his sense of humor, said, "What? You're still having your lunch when everybody has finished? How many helpings did you have?" And Jimmy said, "Baba, I have just started my lunch." So Baba very sweetly smiled. Well, the second incident I would like to relate was my faith in beloved Baba. When my husband had an accident in Mathran, it was in 1961 October. He had a compound fracture of his hand, and that was a very serious accident. We had to return immediately to Bombay. He was immediately taken to the hospital. And because of my faith, I did not even tell Annavas that I just had faith in Baba. And after a few days, I received a telegram from Baba saying that do not worry, everything will be all right. Without, writing or telling Baba anything, this has happened to me. And believe me, that has kept me up for all that time, because it was a very serious one. One more incident I would like to talk about my elder daughter, Gulshan. When she was a child of about 4-year-old, and we went to Nariman's house for Baba's darshan. Baba was giving prasad to everybody. And our Rhoda's son, Meherwan, he was only, 3 years old at that time. He came for Baba's darshan, and Baba was giving prasad to everybody. Apple was given to him as a prasad to little Meherwan. Immediately my younger daughter, Gulshan, she was also about 3.5 at that time, and Baba gave her an apple. And she wouldn't take pardon me, Baba gave her a pear or some other fruit as a prasad, and she wouldn't take it. So, and she was saying that, "No, I want an apple, the same one that Meherwan had from Baba." And Baba asked Meherji, "Why doesn't this little one take the apple? Take the fruit?" So Meherji laughed and said, "No, she wants to have an apple, Baba. And she says that Baba gave Meherwan an apple, I would like to have an apple only." So Baba very sweetly smiled, and she said, "All right, search the apple from the kanya and from the basket and give it to her." And Baba very sweetly took the apple from that basket and handed it to Gulshan. Well, that is that for the present.
I think.
Amati, would you like to say something?
No, Fasad is good.
Remember the first time I met Baba? As usual, I was shaking in my shoes because we were just engaged, Hoshang and I. That was in 1953. And Hoshang said that I had to go and meet a great master at Anavaz's place at 69C Ashiana. And, at the time, I didn't know much about spirituality. I was all material, not that I'm not now. And we were all standing in a queue waiting to meet Baba. And I believe Anavaz was standing in one corner, looking out for Baba's reactions when he saw me. Means whether I would be... everybody's acceptable in Baba's fold, but his immediate Dadachanji family. And I went to him quite nervous, and I don't know what I did. I don't even remember. I must have shaken hands or something. I was all mixed up at the time. Quite young and a bashful 17. And, when everybody's looking at you, you're rather nervous. And Baba said, like that. And Anavaz knew that was the okay signal. I would do for Hoshang. And well, then, since then, we got married in 1957, and we have 2 lovely children, Rayoman and Meheruk. And they're poles apart. They're both Baba children. Rayoman is very, very shy, and he's not very forward. And Meheruk is always very bold and forward. And whenever she used to go to Meheruk, naturally Meheruk being younger, she used to go around without realizing any shyness. She used to go to Baba very boldly, come in and out, go and kiss him, do anything she pleased with Baba. And I think Rayoman actually resented that, being a very shy child and not a very cuddlesome one, like I told, he was very thin and all that. And then Baba must have sensed that insecurity in him. So one day he called him up and he says, "Come on, Rayoman, press my legs." And he held out his legs, and Rayoman sort of really felt in the limelight this time. And Baba says, "Rayoman also loves me a lot." And I suppose since then Rayoman has felt very happy. And Rayoman and Meheruk both always put on Baba's locket whenever they go, and always take Baba's name whenever they start on any new venture. And they'll always be Baba children who have been singularly lucky because they've had their Navjot with Baba. That's about the greatest. And he's taught them what a Navjot really means. I mean, the true values of, about the true value, how they should live to be good Zoroastrians. And I think Armighty has been lucky too. Armighty, would you like to say something about your Navjot? Come on, join in. Just tell them how excited you were about the Navjot and what a lovely feast we had at Guru Prasad with Baba presiding, huh? Well, I think I'll sum it all up as those were the days, my friend, I thought they'd never end about Baba. Those really were the days when he gave his all to us. And I hope we took the all he gave. Would you like to say something, Freni?
Well, this also happened in 62. I think 62 was one of the happiest times I had with Baba. And actually, my people in Karachi wanted me to attend my cousin's wedding, Meheru's wedding, remember? And of course, I had refused to go there. And well, we were in the habit of celebrating or sort of giving them, the Guru Prasad people and the Mandli, a little treat on these happy occasions like birthdays and Navjots and weddings. So I remembered Meheru's wedding day, and I'd given Guru Prasad people some treat. I don't remember what, but we'd all sat together and eaten perhaps small pastries or something like that. I really don't remember. But, well, on that day, in the evening, Baba sent a message saying that he wanted Arnavas and myself in Guru Prasad. It was about 5:30, if I remember rightly. And I was surprised because Baba really would retire by that time. And unfortunately or fortunately for me, I don't know what to say, but Arnavas was not there to accompany me. And so I went alone to Baba. And do you know what Baba said? He was sitting in his bed, in his room. And as I entered, he said, "Do you know why I've called you?" And I said, "No, Baba." And he said, "Well, today I had whatever the feast was, whatever the little treat was, and I've called you to say thank you to you." And I was absolutely flabbergasted. I just stared at Baba, and the thought entered into my mind. I said, "God is thanking me for what?" And well, this is what Baba is. And Baba, I know that Baba has said that if you take one step towards me, if you love me, then I take 10 towards you. And his 10 are real long ones, you know. And so just keep on loving Baba. He's God. He's everything. And I believe that he's closest to all of us and will always be. May we always hold on to his Dharman and love him more and more and more and more.
Yeah. Baba used to have meetings of his disciples so many times, and he used to give discourses and ordinary lectures in story-like forms, and he always emphasized on one thing, that hold on to my Dharman because I am God. And I am definitely God, you have not to doubt about it. And we always believed it because we knew that he was God.
Come along now, we finish with our tea. Let's relax in the city. Come, Freni. Come on, Freni Kaki. Banu, Beram, come on. Let's all sit round. Are we all there? Freni, come along. Would you like to say something?
Well, this is to relate an incident showing how important it was to stay with Baba, in Baba's presence, at all times, and whenever it was possible for us to do so, and perhaps even impossible. On one occasion, I remember that we were with Baba in Guru Prasad. A few of us were invited, and particularly two people Baba wanted in Guru Prasad on that particular Sunday. One of them didn't turn up, and well, there's nothing personal about it, but I think Baba, being very practical, wanted to teach us how important it is to obey Baba at any cost. So he asked for that particular person, and upon being told that he was not present, Baba made Hoshang, that's Havovi's husband, say that he should send a telegram to that person and that he should write a few words of abuse. Of course, Baba was very humorous about it, perhaps very serious too. And then Hoshang came along after writing the Vaya, and Baba said, "What have you written?" So Hoshang said that Baba says that you are a fool, that you should have been present when Baba called you. So Baba laughed, and he said, "Well, it's a very mild telegram. You should have written something really abusive." And well, Hoshang was in a dilemma as to what he should write. And well, Baba laughed, and he said, "Well, tell him that he should have been present." Then he said, "Well, add this, and this is very important." He said that sansar, that is married life or life, children, work, marriages, deaths, these things will always be there. These things you will do over and over and over again. But I come once in 700 years. And so when I am here, you should forget everything and be in my presence when I call you, because I won't be here all the time. And I think all of us who were sitting there will never forget these words of Baba, and always we've been there when Baba has called. And well, this is a funny incident. It happened in Jamnagar house. Baba used to go on the house visits. He came to Jamnagar house, and being a humorous master and humorous God, he was very fond of jokes. So, and we were shivering in our boots because we knew Baba was going to ask us to sing or tell a joke and to entertain him, which we had never been called upon to do personally. So we were all prepared. Actually, I was prepared with a joke. And knowing it, I suppose Baba said, "Well, Freni, tell me a joke." So I had read a joke in the Times of India. And, well, pardon ladies, but it's really catty. Anyway, you know how catty women can be. So there were these three friends, Joan, Jane, and Mabel, at a party. And Jane had come with a frontless and a backless dress. And so Mabel told Joan, says, "Joan, Jane's got a spiritual dress on." And Joan said, "What's that? What's spiritual about the dress?" So she said, "Well, there's hardly any material in it." And Baba had a very, very hearty laugh and he made this sign. He said, I've enjoyed the joke. Well, anybody else?
It's good that you people are passing from one into another. Saving us the embarrassment.
Well, Finny, that brings to mind that same time, I'm talking about the same time when we were supposed to entertain Baba. Yes, well, like I was telling you, we were all supposed to be ready with something to entertain Baba. It could either be a joke or a song. And having been to a convent school, I knew a few hymns, so I thought I'd rattle off with Holy, Holy, Holy. And there I was in a crack voice going louder and louder, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. And Baba was sort of quite pleased with it. And I was really, as usual, frightened and nervous. And Baba seemed to like the song very much. And Francis says, now where did you pick that up from? And Baba said, very nice. And ever since that time, I dedicate all the hymns I've learned to Baba. And we all tried singing Begin the Begin and mastering it the way he'd like us to sing. And, well, Baba used to be very fond of jokes. And we used to get hold of all the Sardarji jokes, you know, the North Indian Sikhs, the Sardajis. They are the butt of all jokes, and we always used to get hold of all the jokes. We could land on the Sardajis and joke about them and tell Baba, entertain Baba with the jokes. I think it eased his spiritual work. And even today, we can't hear a Sardaji joke without remembering beloved Baba and how we used to relate these jokes in his loving presence. Banu, would you like to talk of something? Hari boli tensu kai lo to boli din.
Asal na man.
Kai gai mo to boli kai time this.
Come along, I'll tell about... Well, I want to make a point here, and that is how important time is and preparation is to meet Baba. And this happened in my personal life. I first saw Baba, let me put it this way, that I first saw Baba in 1947. And this is how it happened. Nariman, that's my brother-in-law, he used to go on tours with Baba, or he was with Baba when he was called. And Arnavas used to be alone in the house, and we were instructed to stay with her during the nights. So on one such occasion, my husband Rustam and I were staying at Arnavas Nariman's place. And one day, at about 8:30 or 8:45, Adi Kaka, that's Adi Rani, Baba's secretary, he came along and he said, Arnavas, Baba is just a few hours away from Bombay and he's going to spend the night here. And I heard that. And well, I was quite nervous because knowing Arnavas is Nariman's wish that we should love Baba and go to him and all that. Well, actually, my life has been philosophical, but I used to think that my faith in my abstract God was very, very strong, far superior than believing in a God who claimed to be human. And Arnavas used to feel very sorry for me. She thought that I should go to Baba and knowing what I would benefit and all that, but I couldn't do that. And I used to tell Arnavas, well, Arnavas, just to please you, I won't become a hypocrite. So this particular day that Baba was coming, I asked Arnavas, I said, since Baba is coming, I would like to return home. And she thought this was an opportunity for me to see Baba, to meet him. And she said, no, it doesn't matter. You are in the other room. You can keep sleeping. And you won't see Baba. You stay here. Well, I think about, I can't be very certain, but I think about 12 or 12:30 in the dead of night, Baba with few monthly men came, and I heard the noise, the murmur, and talk, Baba going into his room, and we were in the other room across the passage. Of course, after that I lost all my sleep because I knew Baba was in the house. At about 4 o'clock or so, Baba got up to have his bath. And I also wanted to go to the bathroom. So I got up, and there was a heavy curtain on the door. But I think I must have seen Baba's shadow or God knows what, but I suddenly started shivering, feeling hot. I didn't know what was happening to me. And I just sat down on the bed again, and I said, well, I'm not getting out of this house. Something's happening to me. I won't get out of this room. And then I heard Baba go into the bathroom, click, and the door was shut. And then I did have the courage. I went out of the room. I came back. That was 4 o'clock. At about 6:30, Baba was to leave the house, and he was getting ready to leave the house. And, well, I was up in the kitchen, and suddenly I think Nergish, that's Arnavaz's sister, she came into the kitchen and saw me awake, and she said, oh, Frini, Baba is leaving. Wouldn't you like to see him? And I said to myself, well, I must see this man who's given me all these feelings and something that has never happened to me. So I said, I don't mind if he wants to see me, if he says yes. So they went and asked Baba, and Baba said, yes, I will see her. So I went into the hall, I saw Baba, and nothing happened. I just saw Baba. And, well, Baba said, like that, his gesture, and, well, that day ended. After that, Baba used to come to Bombay off and on to Arnavaz's place, Nariman's place, and we used to go there. But, well, truthfully, we just went there. Nothing had happened to me. I just couldn't love him, believe in him as God. And then in 60, we went to Guru Prasad. And the first weekend that I went there, once more, nothing happened. But the second weekend, I don't know what happened, but I just accepted Baba as God. And I've started loving him, and I feel and I pray that I always will love Baba till we become one with him. And this is what I want to point out, that of course I felt then that I had wasted 12 years of my life, that Baba was there for me, and I just didn't click. So this is what I want to point out, that, and then Baba said, time, he used to tell Nariman, time, they are all mine, they will one day come. And then he used to tell everybody that time and preparation to come to him are very, very important. 60. We went to Baba in 60.
Well then, Freni, 1960 was the year for us, both of us at the same time. Remember? It was an inner awakening. Like when I try and explain my faith and love for Baba as God to anybody else, I just say, I'm sure I can't convince you, because Arnavaz, Nariman, deep as they were, and I mean, they were wanting to share the goodies that they had, the goodie of the wonderful opportunity of knowing Baba. They wanted to share it with us all this time. Like I met Baba in 53. I took 7 years to get initiated into the Baba fold. And I suppose Baba always knew the right time. And yet Nariman and Arnavaz were very keen on us to sort of get in on time. And in 1960, one day when we went to Guru Prasad, I think that was the weekend before that, we were really bothered and harassed. We stayed at the Parsi, what we call the Dharamsala, and it was really rough going, the beds and everything. It was the last word in comforts. I mean, it was all so terrible. My little son fell down, and we were sort of all very, very antagonized on the contrary. And I said, I swore I wouldn't come the next weekend. And we were just coming so that we'd be making Annavas and Nariman happy. And I must recall that I was most impressed with Mehra's beauty and Mani's beauty and the love that they sort of seemed to give out, the love that they had for everybody. And pardon? Yes, and actually it wasn't Baba, but there was something that awoke right inside me that first weekend. It was Mehra and Mani, and I said, they are very beautiful, and I suppose they knew me for the Baba lover. I must be. I mean, I must have been quite ripe at the time, because a week later I started believing in Baba, and they were showing me Baba pictures and talking about Baba stories, and I sort of listened in with a polite, fixed smile on my face. And then the next week, we just went, and Baba had given us orders so we could sort of bow down to him. And we bowed down to him, and whilst going home in the car, we were all very quiet. Freni and I and Rustam and Hoshang. And, Baba sent us, remember Freni, he sent us the Master's prayer and the Parvadigar prayer, a copy of the Parvadigar prayer and the prayer of repentance. I still have it with me. It's a very beautiful print of that. And he says, give this to the girls with my love. And of course, I've cherished that. I'm sure you must be having the copy with you. And we've just kept it, and we always say our prayers from there now, because since then we've learnt it by heart, but it's always the most treasured thing. I mean, he almost sort of gave us our Sadra Kasti by giving us that prayer, saying, now you're ripe, and here I'm ready to initiate you. And after that, it was always Baba, Baba, and Baba, and anytime we're down in the dumps, or sort of face any difficulty, any unforeseen circumstance, it's always Baba, the name Baba that comes so readily to our lips. He's all pervading, he's always with us, very much with us. Freni?
Oh, well, this is about a dream I had very recently about Baba. And it has impressed me in this point that, you see, I don't know swimming. And I've always dreaded a death by drowning. I don't know why I think of death, but anyway, whenever I do, these thoughts, I suppose, come to everybody. But when I do, I always say, Baba, please give me any sort of death, but I don't want to drown. So one day I dreamt that I was in a ship, a huge liner, and, there was a storm, and lo, we were all into the ocean. And I said, well, Baba, at last you've done it. I told you and I told you, but this is going to happen to me. I am going to drown and die now. And I said, oh, never mind, your wish. And so I just sort of put my fingers on my nose, and as I was going down, knowing that I was dying, I saw not Baba, but two beautiful pictures of Baba coming right towards me, and a loud voice saying, I am the ocean, drown yourself in me, drown yourself in me.